anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe
too much to be done on this mic that I ain't doing ready.
Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Anybody else's...
Okay, so here's your first chance to use Heartless summoning on something other than a mere Superion. This deck is based around Heartless summoning, and if I win a tournament and get to name the deck, I'm naming it My Little Pony. So, the basis of the deck is very simple. It's your classic control deck, where and then I take big creatures and I beat you down with them. Get out the Heartless summoning. This 6 mana cost, 6/6 flyer, becomes a 3 mana cost, 5/5 flyer. Bloodgriff Demon, same deal. Get out a Heartless summoning, and he's a 4/3 that you get to draw cards with, barring a Brimstone Volley or whatnot. You're going to be throwing so many potential threats while having the ability to get card advantage. And Balotelli has the ball. Come on, Balotelli, you can do it, bud. Okay, so Galvanic Juggernaut. I love this card in this deck. Turn 3, 4/4 attacker. I have no issues with that. I don't know if any of you guys would, because there are very few creatures in this set that you can get out other than Scab Ruinator, which we'll talk about in a moment, that you can get out that fast and can do that kind of damage that quickly. Now, if you don't want to play the Juggernaut, you can play Manor Gargoyle, but I think the Juggernaut's just a little bit faster. So here's your main base of the deck. Get out your Heartless summonings, cast your large creatures, bash in your opponent's face. I also added in, now, I hate decks with only one win condition. Now, you can also play Sturmgeist, which is good, because if you can get that out by turn 3, using the Heartless summoning, it'll be large enough to where the summoning won't really affect it, and you'll get to draw cards from its damage. And remember, if you're playing Burning Vengeance, even if they have it out by turn 3, they'd have to waste 1 spell per every 2 cards. They'd have to waste 2 spells for every 1 card that you put out. Snapcaster Mage is useful with Heartless summoning because it actually works. Its ability goes on the stack, and even if you play it and it immediately goes to the graveyard, it's still technically played. So here we have our card advantage, or our control part of the deck, which is 2 Silent Departures, always useful. Think Twice, which I guess is like Ponder. All these cards of which can be brought back using a nice Snapcaster Mage. Forbidden Alchemy, of course, that will get you your Heartless summoning if you don't have it, or if you need a card in a pinch. Snappy, Silent Departure, Think Twice, always useful. I love this card. Puts it on the top of the opponent's deck. Late game, and Dissipate, always useful. Late game, that card could really piss off your opponent. You ever play that Pauper deck with the little black creature that puts the card from your hand on top of your library? Whatever. So here's your first win condition, and this brings cards back from the graveyard, which is always useful. Scab Ruinator is for that late game, they've taken out your Heartless summonings, you have 3 Snapcaster Mages in your graveyard, whatever. Now, the mana base, I got 22 lands. I have 2 Isolated Chapels? Whatever, the black-white lands. No racism involved. That's for the flashback cost, and it's also for the sideboard. I have 2 Nephalia Drown Yards, so let's say you pop something annoying back to your opponent on top of your opponent's deck. Using that, the Nephalia Drown Yard, they're gone. Also, if you're in, let's say, a mirror match, or you guys are in a dilly of a pickle at the moment, the Drown Yard can be used on yourself or your opponent to get some things that you need. I have more islands and I have swamps because you really only need 2 swamps for this deck to work efficiently. Because once you start getting the control part down, you're in pretty good shape. So, let's look at the sideboard here. 2 Gavamry Townships. That deals with Keswick Wolf Run and oh, I'm sorry, not Gav. 2 Ghost Quarters dealing. This I think I'm gonna take those out. I don't know why. I've just always wanted to use it. Urgent Exorcism is for decks with enchantments. Tribute is for decks that are built around like Olivia, things like that. That's great against spirits. That could be used with the Heartless Summoning, by the way. So you can get that out with Morbid, and that's for just like a random creature that I don't currently like, mostly a human. It's a really simple deck when you think about it, and I played it... Oh, Manchester City won. Huh. You know, it's a really simple deck. It's not difficult. It's not crazy mana-wise. I think maybe the mana base needs to be fixed a little bit. Maybe put in like another swamp. Maybe add another isolated chapel. But you know, it doesn't get much simpler than just, you know, get out your Heartless Summoning, which I may need to add a 4th, but I'm not sure. Put out a Heartless Summoning, 2nd turn, 3rd turn, large creature. I'm not going to argue with that, and neither would you. Dissipate, so technically you have using Snappy over there. If you use them with the Unburial Rites, I mean, technically you have 16 counterspells in the deck. If done correctly. That's always useful because you're going to use that mostly, though, on tokens. Because I hate tokens. It's an easy deck. It's just smash your opponent and try and keep him at bay as long as you possibly can. And also, by the way, the Morbid on your Reaper works if you play Snapcaster. He immediately goes to the graveyard. And that brings him right back, and then sends him right back to the graveyard. Actually, there's probably unlimited combo with that. But either way, this is the deck. It's worked so far and in Constructed. My Little Pony.